Fair with Barry Cunningham.
I just thought that was kind of awesome. He buzzed the airport this morning on his way in, letting everybody know, I'm here, I'm ready to do this rally. Let's get on with it. I love the fact that when he does that and they end up buzzing the airfield, coming in real low, hot and low. Whew, love that, love that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show last night. If you haven't, tell your friends about it. I know it was shocking. There was some stuff going on. But then again, what we saw last night made it even worse. Much worse. News is breaking now. It looks like, let me deal with the news basically in terms of one of the crappy things we saw last night. Let me see if I can pull this up. Where is it? I want you guys to see this. Is this it? Okay, so anyway, wrong button. They're not labeled the way I want to have them labeled. So we're just going to talk about this. This might be it. Hold on. Hold the door. Hold the door. Let me just make sure I got the right things in the right place here. All right. Yes, this is it. All right. I want you to listen to Michelle Obama from last night. You know, the day before yesterday I did this big thing on the highlights of the DNC. Well, I'm sick of them. I'm sick of all of them. And I'm especially sick of hearing the hypocrisy that went on at the DNC last night when they brought on Michelle Obama and then she brought on the hubby. But listen to what this woman says right here. Listen to this.
The affirmative action of generational wealth. If we bankrupt a business or choke in a crisis, we don't get a second, third, or fourth chance. If things don't go our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating others to get further ahead. No. We don't get to change the rules so we always win.
Funny. We don't get to change the rules so that we win. And the dancing seals all go and clap along. And I'm watching this with the wife again last night, and the wife's like, do we need to watch this? I just want to see what she's going to say. And she decried and basically denigrated rich people. Meanwhile, somehow these two people came into the office flat friggin' broke and left with $70 million in net worth, with houses all over the country. Big $20 million, estate out in Cape Cod. Oh, it's fantastic. I'm happy for you. I am happy for your wealth. I don't understand how you got it, but I'm happy for you. But you can't be the same kind of happy for other people who are doing well? You think that anyone who's basically got money, somehow they're the evil ones when you're talking about yourself? And I just wonder to myself, to these people, these 12, 15,000 people in the arena who are clapping broadly and go, oh, this is just fantastic. She's railing against the rich people. She's rich. She is rich. She's one of the people that she's talking about. Kamala is one of the people she's talking about. Hillary Clinton is one of the people she's talking about. They're all talking about themselves, and you guys don't seem to notice. It's amazing. It's simply amazing. And then to get up there and say, if things aren't working our way, we don't cheat and change the rules. Seriously? Seriously? You're standing at the Democratic National Convention, getting ready to anoint and coronate Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, Dementia Joe, who actually got all the votes, unopposed in almost every state, I guess you guys don't remember what you just did 2 weeks ago. You don't cheat and change the rules? What rule was there that allowed someone who didn't get any votes to be not, named and coronated your nominee. And I just thought to myself, gaslighting absolutely works. Brainwashing absolutely works. We know it. We know it to be true at this point. We saw it. We watched these people stand up on a stage and lie to people like it was no big deal. And I just wondered how many of the people in that audience that were clapping and glad-handing and so happy to hear from Obama understood you were looking at a woman who cheated both sides. She cheated to get rich. She got paid $750,000 to give one speech. What in the hell does she have to say that's worth $750,000? And then you're at a convention celebrating Kamala Harris after booting the existing president of the United States out of the race. Just kicked him out. Just change the rules. Forget about it. And she said that statement. And I thought to myself, this is why they have a problem. This is why they specifically are in such disarray, such insanity, because they don't even realize how much they're being gaslit, how much they're just being lied to, which is what I'm going to lead into in this second little segment before they get on here. I'm checking the monitor. We got some time. Let's talk. They went out of their way to make sure that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was not on ballots. They kept suing him and suing him and suing him, trying to drain every dollar that he possibly had to make sure that he couldn't run against Dementia Joe at the time and now Kamala. But now, as they say, the chickens are coming home to roost. We heard a little bit about it last night from Nicole Shanahan, who is RFK's vice presidential candidate, that they're like, you know what, if we can figure this out, we might just get on the Donald Trump train. So she went on TV a second time. I want you to take a listen to this.
You made some big news today, talking about the Kennedy Shanahan ticket. Does it stay in the race, Nicole? What are your thoughts on that?
It's Bobby's decision. I came into this supporting him wholeheartedly to win this election. Mm-hmm. And I have to say there's only one party that has obstructed a fair election for us. And unfortunately, it was the Democratic Party. They've done everything they can, including creating PACs to prevent us from being able to have ballot access.
Yeah.
There's only one party that has done everything they can do to stop us from running. Sounds familiar with what they've done to Donald Trump? All they want to do is just basically suppress competition. Make sure that other people can't get in the race. Make sure that these other people that might eventually be competitive to them don't have a chance of running. That's what they want to do. And now they've done it to Bobby K Jr. And now what are they going to do? Because it's imminent. The word on the street, and I'm sure some of you have seen it, is that Friday there's going to be a press conference where he comes out and says, I'm joining the Trump team. We're waiting to see it. We're waiting to see if that actually happens, but she's dropping some more bombs right here.
It's interesting because you were saying that you could stay in and run the risk of Kamala Harris win, or you could walk and you could join forces with Donald Trump. When you say join forces, Nicole, what do you mean specifically?
Well, this idea of a unity party, an idea of us coming around these principles of fighting for liberty in this country, fighting for...
Notice what she said, or rather what she didn't say right there. She didn't say, it's appealing to basically join the Republican Party. It's not what she said. She said, we want to do a unity party. And I caught that and I'm thinking, is Trump about to right now say, you know what? Maybe it's not the Republican Party that we want to have. Maybe we want to have the MAGA Party. Maybe we want to have, quote, the Unity Party. A party that, exists so that people like RFK Jr. can get in. A party that, accepts somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy. A party that, accepts somebody like Elon Musk. a party that, understands the way to win and make America go further is to get away from this uni-party rhino crap and let's just run with people who want to take America forward, truly forward. That wasn't lost on me when she said that.
Our children's health. We have the worst chronic health crisis in the world right now. Over 50% of children are diagnosed with some chronic disease. This is unconscionable. Yeah. And we are willing to work with anyone who is sincere in their endeavor to fix and address this issue.
Okay, so you notice what she said right there. We'll work with anyone who's sincere and wants to work on this issue, meaning, I know there were some talks between the Kamala camp and RFK Jr. Did they figure out that she's not sincere? Are they now coming into Trump because they realize at this point he's sincere? Well, let her answer that right now.
Believe the Trump campaign and Trump himself is sincere. Do you see a home? You talk about this as being Bobby's decision. Do you see a home for RFK Jr. in the Trump administration, Health and Human Services, something to that extent?
All right. So now he's asked her the question. He's put it out there as plainly as can be. Do you guys see that there could be a home for you in the Trump administration?
I would fully support it. I would fully support a strong partnership dedicated to this issue. A lot of people comment that in his first term he didn't accomplish many of the things that mothers really were hoping he would do. Made some big mistakes around the pandemic. However, I think that he is sincere.
Yeah,
I do.
Bingo! It's happening. It's absolutely happening. There's no way that RFK Jr. would have had her go on these shows and begin floating it out there and letting people know it's coming if he wasn't going to endorse her. And she wouldn't be on board, just to make sure you understand, she wouldn't be on board whatsoever if she wasn't part of the plan as well. So somewhere along the line, she's going to be part of Trump's administration. So they're putting all these pieces together, and she said, absolutely, I'd support it. She's on television saying it. There's no way she went rogue. She knew. RFK Jr. said, go ahead, go for it, do it. Do the press. Let them know. We're coming. This is doomsday for the Kamala Harris campaign. Doomsday. Absolutely. Done. It's even more of a landslide than I've been saying. You guys should be feeling good about this. Absolutely feeling good about this. I know it hasn't happened officially yet, but listen to her.
I think it's interesting because the National Review today kind of agrees with you. It's saying that if you, in fact, join the Trump campaign, I'm not saying the Trump campaign, if you pulled out of the race, that it would be more beneficial to the Trump campaign than the Harris campaign. Is that a fair assessment?
I think that it's a tight race right now. Yeah. I wish that we had a chance to debate, that we had fair representation in the polls. I wish we had a chance to be on stage, because had we likely would have won this election. Yeah. 71% of Americans want a strong third-party option, and
71% of Americans want a strong third-party option. What if Trump was that strong third-party option? What if he decided right now, you know what, we're going to bring in all these people, and all these people collectively, business minds, all kinds of different things that they can be as assets, and none of them are politicians. RFK Jr., Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, Tulsi Gabbard used to be a politician. Bring in Tucker Carlson, bring all these people together and say, enough with this BS. This is going to be a new party. This is going to be a new way forward. This is what we're going to do.
We delivered it in terms of ballot access, but they're suing us. The DNC-aligned PACs are suing us to get us off the ballots right now. These are frivolous lawsuits. We've had some of the best people involved in our ballot petitions, some of the most precise, signature packages ever submitted to any of the Secretary of States. We've overcome so much to get to this point. So to even be contemplating this is tough. It's a really hard decision, and we don't. come to this moment lightly. We come to this moment because in every single decision we make, first and foremost, we want to make sure that we are representing the best interest of health and wellness of young people, children, and future generations.
Nicole Shannon.
Love it. Absolutely love it. We'd love to have them aboard. Not just, okay, just so I don't want anyone thinking that, I'm an RFK sycophant. I love RFK. I don't want them aboard just because of what they can bring in terms of deliver certain votes. I want them because I don't want a cabinet full of flunky yes men that are just doing whatever they can to just pilfer and take money from here or there and do what they need to do. The cabinet that he potentially could put together doesn't need special interest money. Realize that. You're not going to bribe Elon Musk. You're not going to bribe Tucker Carlson. You're not going to bribe Vivek Ramaswamy. You're not going to bribe RFK Jr. They're beyond reproach. In addition to that, I'm sure the three-letter agencies have dug all through these people and go, we got nothing. These people squeak when they walk. RFK Jr., he's part of a dynasty of political clan of the United States. You killed his uncle. You killed his father. You can't do anything else to him. You're going to kill him? No, it ain't going to happen. So at this point, that's pretty good. So let's hear one more thing. I want you to hear this. This is from the Glenn Beck show. I think it was this morning. And if you weren't convinced that this is going to happen, this is going to convince you. Listen to this.
The endorsement from RFK, do you think that's coming?
As you can see on the screen, Glenn Beck is talking to Donald Trump Jr.
Listen, I hope so. I think RFK, I think he's a smart guy. I think he's actually got very good views on certain things. I think there's other things, we're going to disagree with him on. But I think it shows sort of a unity against, literally, you mentioned it before I hopped.
He mentioned that word again. The unity party. That's not by accident. I am sure Donald Trump is a master marketer. I am sure they're floating that out as a possible name of where they're headed with this potential new party. The unity party. And first thing he goes, unity. Why would he say that?
On about the communism that we are up against. It's not hyperbole anymore. It's not like, they're just a little bit more left than us. It's not, these people, she's talking about, we want to set up price fixing, and we want to set up this, and we're going to be auditing businesses, and we're going to take away your business, and we're going to take away your children if we, can't do, drive-through, transgender surgeries for minors without parental consent.
Right.
They've lost their minds. And
they truly have lost their minds. Just completely gone. Now she added, hold on, I got to tell you this. So she's floating out these proposals day by day by day, never getting in front of a camera, even like I'm doing right now, never getting in front of a camera and saying, hey, listen, I've got something I want to talk to you about. Here's another proposal. But every single day they leak out another stupid thing. Well, today she decides, let's go ahead and throw something else out there. What we're going to do is wipe out medical debt for everybody. Now, I understand that may sound like a good thing. It's sort of like wiping out college debt. But how are you going to tell all these hospitals and doctors and insurance companies, sorry, eat it. Just go ahead and eat it. Which would probably be okay to every single one of those hospitals, doctors' offices, and insurance companies. People write off debt all the time. As long as they can put it on their taxes as a write-off. If the government allows them to do that, and it's not costing the taxpayer anything, if the taxpayer says, we got to pay the freight for this, then hell no. But she never spells things out. Like, hey, if the companies who hold the debt can write it off, yeah, go ahead, let them write it off their taxes. But nope. That's not going to happen. She's going to find a way to get her paws in it.
So, I love the idea. I love the idea of, giving him, some sort of role in some sort of, major, three-letter entity or whatever it may be, and let him blow it up.
There you go. RFK Jr., giving him some responsibility over some 3-letter agency, wink-de-wink-de-wink, and letting him, quote, blow it up. This is going to send shockwaves of terror throughout the Democrat Party and through, the deep state. Donald Trump Jr., just like with Nicole Shanahan, went on a show this morning. They're surrogates for their bosses. In this instance, Donald Trump Jr. for his father and Nicole Shanahan for RFK Jr. And what's he say on Glenn Beck's show? Yeah, I think it'd make a good idea. We'll bring him in, put him in charge of one of these 3-letter agencies and let him blow it up. Oh my. Talk about third rail stuff. He just said, let him blow it up. I like that. That would be fun. That's when you go out and buy some big barrels of popcorn and watch these people scream like banshees because all of a sudden he's going to pick a 3-letter agency and blow it up. Which, by the way, that's the same thing that Elon Musk is going to do. He's going to pick maybe 1 or 2 of these agencies and blow it up. These people right now need extra absorbent depends. Because Kamala is floundering and foundering, and she's going to basically hit the rocks real soon. I saw Laura Ingraham said, hey, you know what? After this convention, absolutely there's going to be a bump. They're going to see somebody get a bump. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Kamala. It's going to be Trump. She's done insane stuff. Why would you put Obama on at midnight as well? You put your 2 big guns on at a time where nobody saw them. They went to sleep on the East Coast. Nobody was up at midnight watching this stupid convention. And then you didn't even show up. You weren't even in the audience for neither of the Obama speeches. And if you notice something with the Obama speeches, just subtlety. When they both said a number of times during their speeches, it's going to be tight. You better get out there and vote. They know. It's not tight. She's losing. And if this happens on Friday, if they have this, Trump's traveling, so I'm sure this is why it didn't happen. I'm pretty sure what we're going to see is Trump maybe in some event or somewhere, they may walk out together.
I think that's what we need. And so I think that kind of unity, even where there may be certain disagreements on certain things, I think he could be a really great asset for that. I think he could bring people together. And I think it shows a strong a strong opposition to what we are up against, which is just abject insanity. And I think if we had real unity across independence,
3rd or 4th time, right? Unity.
Independents and others in America to stand up for what we know is coming, what the media is doing a very good job hiding from us, which is the reality of the Kamala Harris platform, which is just a continuation of the Biden administration's platform. We don't need another 4 years of this. What's unique with this election, we had 4 years under Trump, we've had 4 years under Biden. When were you better off? It's sort of a no-brainer, and yet, when you're up against the trillion-dollar institution of tech, $1 trillion of mainstream media functioning as the marketing arm of the Democrat Party, it's hard to get a fair shake. And so we have to expose that, and the more people that we had on board, the better. So I'd certainly be open and welcome to the idea, frankly.
Wow. That happens Friday. In my estimation, Friday, the press conference happens. RFK Jr. is on board with Trump. The unity is shown. Elon Musk might be there. It's incredible. I just love what's happening. Now, I got one more short video I can show you before he walks out, and I'm going to take some comments at the end. I'm going to basically acknowledge all the super chats. One more thing that happened today that's definitely going to sink the Kamala campaign. This is unbelievable.
A huge revision down, 818,000 fewer jobs. This is basically the government's overstated the amount of people in the workforce. And
it's a nice word for lied. They lied about creating jobs.
Even when you look under this, manufacturing was down 115,000 people. So this is a revision down, a significant revision down, the largest in 15 years that we've seen. And it basically says that the government has now overstated the amount of people who are working in this workforce. It shows weakness in the job markets over the past year that we didn't realize.
I guarantee you hear some of this today when Trump and J.D. Vance speak.
Was there, but now we know is there. So again, 818,000 overall jobs down, manufacturing down 115,000 in this, and if you just construction down 45,000. So these numbers are huge numbers in revisions down.
Revisions. That's the word we're using now. Understatements, overstatements. No, they lied. They lied and they cheated the American people. Pure and simple. That's all that happened. Let's just call it as we see it at this point. They lied, they lied, they lied. The media can't hide them anymore. We lost nearly 1 million jobs. We're overstated. Oh, the Biden, whoa, we did this, we did that. No, you lied. You keep lying. There is no possible way. And I'm going to be one who's sticking my head on the guillotine right now. There's no possible legal way that this woman can win. Nope, ain't gonna accept it. Ain't gonna happen. Nope, ain't gonna happen. Yeah, exactly. Overstated. Yeah, that's the word we're gonna use from now on, right? Overstated. They overstated. You lied. You've been cooking the books and you got caught. And it's amazing to me that today, today this came out. Today this news comes out right in the middle of the DNC. Why would this information just today drop? Who's been holding it? I mean, it's August. This happened, in April or whenever? I'm not really sure which revision it was. I think it's a quarterly. How did it just get, all of a sudden, we just figured out we lost 800,000 jobs. We just put a zero on the end by mistake. That's our fault. My bad. Elon's thing for yesterday: bread lines and ugly shoes. He's reading the jobs lost, not jobs filled. Okay. They still lost it, still lied, overstated by nearly 1 million. Thank God for the whistleblower. Somebody's dropping dime, that's for sure, absolutely. Obama doesn't want people to have choices. Obama wants to control America. At this point, I think he sees his control slipping. You know what's funny? I also tweeted this morning, if you watched either one of those speeches, or actually, if you watched any of the speeches for the last 2 days, the joy that they're talking about just wasn't there. This has become a bitch fest about Donald Trump. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. You're not pumping up anyone about Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. It's all, let's just go after Donald Trump as much as we possibly can. That's it. That is their platform. We need to let you know that the boogeyman in the closet is Donald Trump. Don't let that boogeyman out of the closet. That's the entirety of their platform, besides being communist. What's up, Big Show? Unbelievable. I knew all along these idiots were fudging the jobs numbers. The real unemployment is 8.4, maybe even higher. Yeah, they've been fudging it. Elon's poll. Funny. Elon's poll, which is on Twitter /X, which is open to anybody, shows Trump ahead 77-23. And as of last time I checked, I can check it again right now. Let's go ahead and check. Last time I checked, there was like 1.7 votes on it. It may be much higher at this point. Let's take a look at this while we're waiting to see what that poll number is. But that's a lot of people have voted in this thing, and he's being quite active in letting people know what's going on. I'm trying to get down to this poll. Oh, here we go. Whoa, I'm wrong. I am really wrong. I said 1.5, and here you go. Where are we? Why did that not show up where it's supposed to? That was supposed to be here. Yeah, that's interesting. Twitter pip is not showing. Don't know why that happened. Why is it showing Firefox? In any event, my buttons are messed up. 5.2 million votes as of right now. 5.2 million votes are what's have been. And right now, that had said 77. You have 73.6, 26. 3 hours left. 5.2 million votes. That's how many votes. We can't put too much stock into the X poll. There's likely a big response bias. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. But I don't put any stock into the other polls as much either. I mean, if 5 million people have responded, that's a lot more than like 600, which some of these polls are doing, and then overstating the Democratic response. Not much where was that? Not much testosterone at the DNC. I saw that. Oof, man, that was crazy. Dumping on Trump, no pumping on Kamala, but that does not matter because she's not there. She's not even there. It doesn't even make any sense. All right, Barry, came out of work. It's nice to see you online. Thank you for showing up. What's up, SV? 26% are for Harris. They are stupid. We spoke about that. 26% is also a good portion of those are people who how can I say this? Communist? Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. There are a certain segment of our population right now that are fine. They are absolutely fine sticking it to the man, even though the man might be their father. You know, it's not talking about just a billionaire, because if they were thinking about millionaires and ultra millionaires, they were speaking to them last night. And I would love to say would you like to see Obama and Michelle Obama broke? Would you like to see like 80% of their money taken? Oh, no, not them. They're the cool millionaires. How about Tay-Tay? Taylor Swift? You okay with that one? Oh, no, we couldn't do that with Tay-Tay. But you're okay doing it with, Trump and his buddies, because those guys, that's bad rich people. Idiots. Absolute idiots. So we're at 2:05 as of right now, checking both screens. He has not come out. Kamala is not there because she's driving around in the big blue bus checking everything out. You know, the people who talk about climate change and how we really have to make sure that climate change is a part of everything we do, you're gonna love this one. Yesterday, while her husband was speaking on the podium, she was up in a plane getting ready to land. And I don't know what the technology is on the plane, but she told the people to keep circling so she could watch her husband uninterrupted. The people who are for climate change just said, hey, listen, let's just keep circling because I got to hear my husband speak. I don't want that, intermittent service or anything. That's what happened. 63% bias to Harris on news networks. Yeah, absolutely. Definite bias. RFK will be joining Trump 2024. Pray America. They treated RFK really bad. Yeah, it's their own selves. They're the ones who did it. They are the ones who are causing their own demise. From the way they run policy, to the way they treat people, to the way they just would do anything to just keep power. Now power is slipping from their grasp, which makes them very, very dangerous at this point. I think you have to understand that. That's going to make them quite dangerous. Yes, they are indeed major hypocrites. The choice is clear. Yeah, prosperity. Where is that? Prosperity or porn is probably, it went by too fast. Dogs and cats to make the price of dog food and cat food go down again. Let RFK go after the agencies. Ooh, imagine that squirming right there. Let RFK go after the agencies that murdered JFK and his father. You didn't put his father in there. His father was 1968. So he's got two reasons. His uncle, John, and his father, Robert Sr., who were taken out. No, RFK Jr., nobody has said at this point that he has endorsed Trump. Nobody has said that. I haven't said it. Nobody else has said it. What I've just been saying is what his camp has been saying. If you weren't here at the beginning, maybe you should just rewind before you end up saying anything. Because his camp, 2 days in a row, have come out and said now, it looks like it's going to happen. Nope, nobody said it has happened. It's still, out there, but it looks like it's going to happen. Accused Donald Trump of eliminating Secret Service. Is that why he's eliminating the tax on it? Oh, Social Security. Right. Okay. Okay, so talking about that short bus, that big blue RV that they got out back there that they're doing all their crazy stuff with, man, I got some really, really disturbing news about that. Thus far, during the 2 days of the DNC, they've successfully disposed of about 30 babies. These women aren't having any shame. They're just walking up there. They're just saying, hey, yeah, I'm going in. Cameras are out front. And they're just gleefully walking into this RV of death. What has happened to some of these women? How is your mind just thinking, I enjoyed, I've actually heard women, they may be lying, but they're out there going, I actually enjoyed it. I knew it was fantastic. And I'm like, this is satanic. This is demonic. This is just so bad, man. What is wrong with you people? Unbelievable. Winning in the polls big time. And Harris doesn't have a chance against Trump. All the polls are fake that Harris is winning, and she's not even close. Harris is behind in the most important states. Yeah, that blue van is disgusting. Yeah, you know, these polls are doing their job. They as not everyone, many of us think, they're orchestrating these polls to try and keep it close, so that it'll enable them to do their crazy stuff and get away with it. But it's not going to happen. It is going to be too big to rig at this point. Let me check something here. They are sacrificing babies to their god, Satan. Crazy. How do I get to that survey on X? Somebody's asking. Easiest way to do it. I'm not sure why my screen isn't pulling it up, but it's on Elon Musk's page from yesterday at 5:56 p.m. You can pull it up. So I've got the screen up. Just want to make sure. Hold on. Let me just make sure that nothing's frozen here and that we're okay. Nope, nothing yet. So we're still going. VMix Social. I agree that baby disposal mania is driven from hell. It is definitely satanic. Why did it get so dark in here? I knew it's going to be dark, but I didn't know it was going to be this dark. Let me just do this. Okay, a little bit better. Yep, he's waiting till Friday to announce. That's what I heard. Trump advanced. Hi, Barry, I'm Canadian. Please pray for us. We have a dictator in office. Man, I understand. I completely feel your pain up there. Yes, they will do anything for a vote. Your puppy hugely. Trump, I just wonder if enough people understand how good that would be for us. Trump, JD, Musk, RFK Jr., Fantastic Four, run, giggles, run. It would be huge. It would be absolutely huge. I got a video while we're waiting. I may have to cut it if I have to jump out of here because he comes on. But I have something I wanted you to see. Where is she? She's so good. There's a woman who was talking about what happened in terms of how she feels about the whole thing. I hope this video doesn't get me shut down or anything, but it's just so poignant would be the word in terms of what she says. Let me see if it works.
You know we live.
No, well, the resolution's messed up, so I can't do it. In any event, it's a great video. I'll probably highlight it tonight when I start talking because it's that good as she's talking about how she's feeling about different things. It's really, really good, really good. Trump winning in 2016 was key with the Supreme Court judges defending our Constitution. Absolutely. All they are missing is a bull statue. DNC is wasting our air. Not just the DNC, the media. the media is out there just doing stupid stuff as well. So it's 2:13. I'm wondering why DJT hasn't come out yet, because this is supposed to be a rally with both of these people. Hold on. I'm gonna check and see if there's anything on any other station and see if they've got any information. But then again, we just saw him fly in, so wait a minute. He's about to take the stage now, so this should come on any second. I think all right, so I'm monitoring this. He's walking around. I may have to change feeds if they're not gonna do it. Hold on. I may have to go to a different feed if this one doesn't come in real quick. He has not walked up to the mic. The music is playing. Lee Greenwood is singing, and I do have the other feed ready to go just in case. So we won't miss a second of this. I just wanted to make sure that I'm ready. All right. Let me show you so we can cut the music so we can see that he's actually walking out. All right, so we may have to go with this feed. Don't know why the other feed didn't kick in. All right, what you're gonna see, he's standing behind a screen.
That was pretty good. We were going low and fast. That was moving along. That was pretty low. Just want to thank JD. He's doing a fantastic job. And I want to thank North Carolina. I love North Carolina. I love them. 76 days from now, we're going to win this state, and we're going to win the White House, that beautiful, beautiful building. That beautiful building. I want to thank Senator Ted Budd, who's doing such a great job. Senator Ted Budd, thank you. Thank you. Great job, Ted. Mark Robinson, he's out there. He's fighting. He's fighting. He's a great one. And I think we have a lot of our sheriffs here, don't we have? Where are they? Will this stage hold them? I'd love to bring them up. Come on, sheriffs, get up here. Mark. Come on. I don't know if this stage is going to hold them, but if it... Come on. I don't know if this stage is going to hold them, but if it doesn't... We've had bigger risks than this. All right? Come on, sheriffs. If you weigh more than 200 pounds, don't come up. I'm only kidding. Come on. All right, fellas. Thank you. Welcome, North Carolina.
Sucks he's behind a bulletproof glass, but I guess that's what they have to do to keep him safe.
Thank you very much. Thanks, sir. I don't know if this thing's going to hold it, but if it doesn't, we're not going to get it. It's been a worse day. Thank you. Come on up here. I think we get it. I think you better stay up. Slide down a little bit. Just so you know, these are great people, but I want to get them the hell off the stage because I guarantee they didn't have this in mind when they built this. Thank goodness Mark lost a lot of weight over the last couple of months. You did, actually. Well, I want to thank you all very much. You are the reason we're able to be here and that you have a safe state and a great state. Thank you all very much. Thank you. That's some group of people for endorsements, too. Every group virtually in the country, law enforcement endorsed us. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mark. Good luck, Mark. He'll win. Got to win. He's got to win. Got to win. He's a good man. Thank you. Oh, I feel much better. I feel very much better that they got off the stage. I had no idea what was going to happen, but it's not that far down. You know, I had no idea what was. I'm a big structural guy. But I want to thank also members of Congress, Richard Hudson and Byron Donalds, two warriors, two great people, two unbelievable. Where's Byron? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Where's Byron? Oh, look at him over there. He knows how to get attention. Look at that guy. He's been my friend for a long time. Thank you for everything, Byron. And you have, thank you very much, congressional candidate Mark Harris. Mark? Hi, Mark. Good going, Mark. Good numbers. Good numbers. Brad Knott and Addison McDowell. They're all going to be winners very soon. Young, good-looking people. Thank you very much. Great. The State House Speaker, Tim Moore. Tim? Where is Tim? Oh, he's nice and safe back there. Oh, hello, Tim. I appreciate it, Tim. And Neil Jackson, State Rep. Neil Jackson. Thank you very much. Thank you, Neil. RNC Chairman Michael Whatley. What a job he's doing. What a job he's doing. And North Carolina GOP Chairman Jason Simmons, who's been a friend of ours for a long time. Where's Jason? Nice tall character right here. Thank you very much, Jason. And somebody that's been with me from day one, he's a real general. You know, we have the real generals and we have the fake woke generals that did so poorly in Afghanistan, should have all been fired. But this is a real general, Keith Kellogg. Right, Keith? And this is a great group. It's good to see you, Keith. He's been with me from before day one, right? He said, that guy should run. We got to get him to run. I like those guys. They were here before I ran. You know, there's quite a few of them, too. We have the front row, Joes, you know that? And very importantly, we have the most magnificent women. First time, you know, they travel all over the country to be with us for rallies. They're at close to a couple of hundred rallies. I don't know what their husbands are doing about this. This is a little crazy. Look how beautiful. And they're from North Carolina. And for a change, they don't have to travel so far, right? How far are you from here? 2 hours is nothing. It's a pretty big state, actually. Thank you very much. As always, you are special, special people, great women. They love our country. Before we begin, I want to address the massive scandal around the revised job numbers that were just announced this morning, a little while ago, just before I came up. I got to see them. And it really isn't a revision. It's a total lie. Total lie. There's never been any revision like this. They wanted it to come out after the election, but somehow it got leaked. It got leaked. Government leaks, too.
Somehow.
The Harris-Biden administration has been caught fraudulently manipulating job statistics to hide the true extent of the economic ruin that they've inflicted on America. The new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that the administration padded the numbers with an extra, listen to this one, 818,000 jobs that don't exist. So they said they existed, and they never did exist. They built them up so that they could say what a wonderful job they're doing. No, we've never had numbers like this. They don't exist. They thought they could do it sometime after, you know, we have an election coming up very quickly, but they wanted this to come out after November 5th when it wouldn't have meant so much, but It came out a little early, so there's a patriot in there someplace, right? The real numbers are much worse than that. And Comrade Kamala, you know, she's Comrade, the most radical left person ever to run for a high political office in our country. Gets another 4 years, millions of jobs, and it'll vanish overnight. She gets 4 more years, you're going to see jobs vanish. Millions and millions will vanish, and inflation will completely destroy our country. We'll have inflation worse than they've given us. You know, when I gave it to them, I had virtually no inflation, and now their number's up to 22, 23%, but their real number is probably 40 to 50% because a lot of the things in their numbers aren't included. I saw another one where the FBI releases crime statistics, and they weren't that bad. And then they left out little things like New York, Chicago. Yep. They left out various areas, and that wasn't so good. Your life savings will be totally wiped out. And if you put somebody like that in there with him, how about him? How about him? She'll destroy our country just like she destroyed San Francisco, just like she destroyed California. With the Trump victory, we will once again have the greatest economy in history. We're going to do things that are going to make us so great so fast. We're going to bring it back. We're going to make America strong again. We're going to make America great again. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fantastic. So I just want to thank you very much for your support, because I've always had fantastic support from you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We have a job to do. You know, we have a job to do. We had some very good polls this morning, despite their charade. I call it the party, the Democrats' party. Do you know 5 people in Chicago were killed in the last little while since that charade that they have going on? They mentioned my name, I think, 271 times. They mentioned the economy like 12 times. They mentioned the border, maybe none. They don't talk about the border. Our great border czar doesn't talk about the border. But they mentioned me more than any other category. I'm now a category. They had me down today as a category. That's all they talk about. Trump. We've driven them crazy. They have Trump derangement syndrome. We've driven them crazy, and they should be driven crazy. They've done a terrible job for our country in every single way. There's not a thing they've done well except cheat and lie. They lie about stats. No, they lied about the crime numbers. The crime numbers didn't look bad. Then they found out that many of the worst places weren't included in the numbers. And that was done by the FBI, which is sad. 4 years ago, our country was strong and respected like never before. Our allies admired us. Our enemies feared us because everyone knew that as an American president, I was all about putting America first. That's true. Under my leadership, we rebuilt the United States military, created Space Force, and we made our allies pay their fair share and their fair dues. You know, we went to NATO, we say, you're not paying, you got to pay. If you remember, President Bush would go and he'd make a speech. Obama would go, he'd make a speech. They all made speeches. This one didn't even make a speech, this last one. But I went, I said, nobody's paying. You got to pay. And they did, paid hundreds of billions of dollars. They said, well, does that mean you won't support us if we don't pay? I said, that's what it means. I had to say that. I got a lot of heat for that. People, the fake news. Oh, that's a lot of fake news. Oh, that's a lot of fake news. No, the fake news gave me a hard time for that. The fake news was saying, what a terrible thing to say to our allies. Our allies weren't paying. And I said, you got to pay. We were paying for everybody. So they take advantage of us on trade, and then we also pay for their military. That somehow doesn't work. So they had to pay. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars. But I said to them, no, that means I will not protect you. I will not protect you. They said, sir, if we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? Used to be Soviet Union, now Russia. Will you protect us? I said, are you paid? No, let's assume we're not paid. Then you're delinquent, right? Well, yes, that's an old real estate term. You're delinquent, yes. No, we will not protect you. The press went crazy that I said, and you know what? If I would have said the other way, they would have never paid. Hundreds of billions were sent into NATO. But we defeated ISIS, we killed the world's top terrorists, we secured our borders, we achieved energy independence, we stood up to China, we protected Israel, we made peace in the Middle East with the Abraham Accords, and more. We did things like nobody ever heard of, and we brought our troops mostly back home. We didn't start any wars for 79 years it was before. We didn't start wars, 79, 80 years. Everybody said, oh, he's going to start wars with his attitude. No, my attitude kept us out of wars. I stopped wars with phone calls. Russia should have never happened. With Ukraine, would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. Nope, there was no talk of that. Would have never, ever happened with Putin. Would have never happened. And Israel, October 7th, would have never happened. Iran would have never done that. They had very little money at that point. Now they're rich as hell. But Biden allowed that to happen. And Kamala, where's Biden? What happened to Biden? Where is he? He's on a beach. He's on a beach. You know, he's got somebody that thinks he looks great in a bathing suit. He likes to go to a beach. How do you leave here and go on a beach? You can't do it. There are things you just don't do. People don't want to see you in a bathing suit. Walks badly. It's hard to walk in the sand. You know, he has a hard time lifting his feet through the sand. And then he grabs the chair. The chair is meant for old people to lift and young kids to lift, like, 4-year-old kids, right? And he can't lift it. He needs a little help. The whole thing is crazy. How we ever got that is crazy. And what happened to our country with inflation and with disrespect from all over the world, and all these wars are starting all over the place. And we're very close to a third world war, and don't kid yourself, because they are laughing, but they're not laughing too much. You're a little worried about a certain person winning the election. We had some very good polls today. And if that happens, you're not going to have any third world wars. Every American was safer under President Trump. In fact, the entire world was safer when I sat behind that beautiful, resolute desk in the Oval Office. I heard the other day, for the first time, I heard Biden say, the beautiful, resolute desk. He never said that before. They copy me. When I say we're a nation in decline, guys are copying me. Then they say they shouldn't say that, but they thought the words were beautiful. But they copy me all the time. In that case, it was Republicans that were copying me because they happen to be right, so I don't mind if a Republican copies me. Any of you guys want to copy me. But it's a sad thing to have to say, but they copy me. The resolute desk, he never mentioned that. He doesn't even know what the hell the resolute desk is. Exactly 3 years ago this month, the weakness and incompetence of Kamala Harris and crooked Joe Biden delivered the most humiliating event in the history of our country and one of the biggest military disasters in the history of the world, as far as I'm concerned. No one will ever forget the horrifying images of their catastrophic retreat from Afghanistan. Desperate Afghans fell to their deaths from the wheels of U.S. cargo planes that were 3,000 feet up in the air. Bloodthirsty terrorists poured out of the prisons after Biden and Harris surrendered Bagram, one of the largest air military bases anywhere in the world. We spent billions and billions of dollars building it many years ago. And it was important to keep it. I was never leaving that. I would have been out faster than them. I said, that's not, we were there for almost 21 years. And I said, what are we doing? What are we doing here? And we had no soldiers killed for 18 months while I was there because they knew, don't play around with our soldiers. They were killing them. They were killing them under Obama. Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle. They always say, sure, please stick to policy. Don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy? Sir, you must stick to policy. You'll win it on the border. You'll win it with inflation. You'll win it with your great military that you built that they gave away $85 billion worth of it in Afghanistan. Sir, you're going to win it on crime. The crime is running through the streets like never before. You're going to win it on all of these things, and maybe especially, I think two things, the economy, inflation, because I view them together, what they've done to inflation, and they caused it with energy. What they did with energy is so stupid. If we were
there, our energy, we would be so dominant all over the world right now. We were already energy independent. I made you energy independent. But we would be energy dominant, we'd be paying back debt, we'd be reducing your taxes still further. We gave you the largest tax cuts ever. And a lot of good things were going to happen, but now we're just going to have to sort of call it a delay of 4 years. But these people don't have any idea what they're doing. You had 13 heroic U.S. service members were tragically and needlessly killed. I got to know a lot of the relatives, friends, and mothers and fathers of those 13 people. 45 others were horrifically wounded, and $85 billion worth of the best military equipment anywhere in the world was handed over to these people. In fact, Afghanistan is now one of the largest arms merchants anywhere in the world. Did you know that? They're selling our equipment at tremendous prices. They're selling our beautiful. We had 70,000 armored trucks, many of them armored trucks and vehicles. Think of this. We had 700,000 rifles and guns. I actually say, what the hell did they need so many for? 700,000 rifles and guns. We had goggles, brand new, right out of the box. You know, they didn't fight at night because they never had goggles, right? Good fighters. They never had goggles. Now they have brand new goggles, all left by the Biden-Harris administration. Gave them billions and billions of dollars, just gave it to them, and now they sell that equipment because they don't need 700,000 rifles. They need 20,000, little difference. They don't need 70,000 vehicles. They need 500 vehicles. You have to ask yourself, who bought all that stuff in the first place? Who bought it all? How disgusted we're all, when we see, all of us are, when we see 3 days ago when we viewed their parade, our military equipment running down the middle of their main avenue, brand new, beautiful, armor-plated trucks, tanks, and vehicles running down the middle, and they're all celebrating because we have stupid people running our government, and she'll be worse than Biden because he wasn't really a believer, but she's a radical left believer. She ruined San Francisco. She ruined California. And if she gets in, our country doesn't have a chance. This calamity is on Comrade Kamala Harris's shoulders. I think her name will be Comrade because I think that's the most accurate name. You know, I've been looking for a name. People are saying, sir, don't do it. You know all my names. They've all worked. They've all been very successful. And I really didn't find one with her. Sir, she's a woman. I said, so is Hillary Clinton. I called her Crooked Hillary. So nobody complained about that, right? Right? Mr. Governor, nobody complained about that. No, I called her Crooked Hillary. I call people names. I call crazy Nancy Pelosi crazy because she is. She's nuts. You know, Biden is really angry. You know, he's very angry. He was so angry the other night, he's like seething. You ever see a guy make a speech? It's such anger and so uncomfortable, just shouting. But he's terrible. He's just terrible. Should have never been there. We all know that. Should have never been there. What they've done to this country is incredible. But she bragged that she would be the last person in the room, and she was. She was the last person in the room with Biden when the two of them decided to pull the troops out of Afghanistan. And by the way, pulling them out was absolutely right. I was going to do it. I'm the one that got the soldiers down to 5,000 people. I was going to do it, but we were going to get out last. You don't pull the soldiers out first. You let the soldiers stay last. And the head of the Taliban respected me, Abdul. I had conversations with him. After my conversations, not one soldier in 18 months was killed. But you pull the soldiers out last. Milley and these guys, you know, we have great generals, but Milley and Mattis and these guys, they didn't know what the hell. I call them television generals. The television generals are no good. But the generals that defeated ISIS, for me, were great. We have a great military. But she had the final vote. She had the final say, and she was all for it. You take the soldiers out. If I took that young person right there, about 5 or 6 years old, beautiful young person, and if I said, I gave little details, like about 30 seconds worth of details. Would you take the military out first or last? Sure, I'd take the military out last. But they took it out first. And then we left hostages, we left all of the equipment, we left everything. And we left Bagram, and now China is occupying Bagram. Bagram being 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. Wouldn't it have been nice to have our big, fat, beautiful base? It was probably built there for that reason. But China 1 hour away, and now China is occupying that massive, big base. Some of the biggest runways in the world. They can hold heavier loads than any runways in the world. Under my leadership, we were getting out of Afghanistan, but we were going to get out with dignity, pride, and with strength. When I left office, we had not lost a single service member in the combat in Afghanistan in more than 18 months. And then we had that horrible day where we lost so many, and so many were so badly hurt. Arms, legs gone, face just obliterated. We lost so many great people that day. Nobody talks about the people that were so badly injured. They never mention them. I always mention them. All over the world, our adversaries knew that America was not to be trifled with when I was your commander-in-chief. And you know, it's very interesting. If you look at Hungary, very strong country, very strong leader, Viktor Orban, he said the only thing that's going to save the whole world is Trump has to be president again. We had no problems. We had no problems. He said, we had no problems. I don't use the term, but he did. He said, China was afraid of him. Russia was afraid of him. They always said, oh, I was so friendly to Russia. I'm the one that stopped the Russian pipeline called Nord Stream 2. Nobody ever, the biggest development they ever had to feed oil all over Europe, I stopped it. And then Biden comes in and he gives them everything. He gave them the pipeline. They built the pipeline, but I stopped it. Putin said, that's the worst thing that's ever happened to us. I said, I'm sorry, I have to do it. And he approves it right away. And then they say, Trump was not strong on Russia. I think they got it wrong. Putin actually said, if you weren't strong, I'd like to find out how bad would you be if you were strong, because you were brutal. But, you know, I got along with him. It's good to get along with these countries. I got along with China. That wouldn't have happened. What's happening right now, they're planning an attack on Taiwan. There's no question about that. That wouldn't have happened. It wasn't going to happen. They knew that you weren't allowed to do that. Putin would have never gone into Ukraine. Israel would have never been attacked. It's a sad, sad situation. So many people are dead. So many people are gone. So many cities. You look at Ukraine, those cities are just wiped off the face of the earth. They're outside of Kiev and a couple of others have basically just flattened. Far more people dead than they let you know. It's like your numbers that were released fraudulently today. Far more people dead in that war than anybody would know. When those big buildings come tumbling down, hit with rockets, so ridiculous. There's nothing left. It's so ridiculous. But since the Afghanistan catastrophe, it's been open season on America and our allies. I really believe that the Afghan disaster, what happened, the stupidity and the way we pulled out and the bedlam and all of that, it would have been very smooth. We were going to get out with strength and dignity. But when Putin saw that, he said, wow, those people don't know what they're doing. They're overrated. And he went in, and the same thing happened with Iran. Iran was not going to play with us. And now Iran is a rich nation. They have $300 billion. They had no money. And in 3.5 years, they made $300 billion they have right now. They made it all in 3.5 years. They had none when I left. And we would have made a fair deal with them. They can't have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. You can't have a nuclear weapon. Other than that, we want you to have great lives. But I do hear they're after me, but, you know, that's the way it is. Look, I'm here for you, and I'm here even for the world. We want to stop world wars because the equipment is so devastating now. A world war is obliteration. We can't have a world war. Every dictator, tyrant, and terrorist on the planet knows that they can get away with murder under Kamala and Crooked Joe. Kidnappers are getting millions and millions of dollars, but now they're getting billions. They're getting billions. What did you get for the 4 people that we released? Sure, they got $6 billion. What is $6 billion? Does anyone know what that means? $6 billion. They got $6 billion. People get kidnapped and, they ask for how about $1,000? How about $500? They got $6 billion from these idiots. And you know what happens? When that happens, a lot of people are going to get kidnapped because they say, we're dealing with stupid people. A lot of people. We had 59 people that were hostage, some in North Korea. That's about as tough as it gets. We got people out without paying for anything. We never gave money. We didn't want to give money. If we gave money, all they do is they go around kidnapping everybody. These people give, not only do they give $6 billion, they got the Prince of Death out. He's the #1 arms merchant in the world. Russia got him as part of one of the deals. The #1 arms merchant in the world. We got a couple of people. But, why were they there? And why did they do what they did? But they got some of the most criminal, the toughest, meanest criminals anywhere in the world. On top of that, we paid them billions and billions of dollars. We're run by very stupid people. I'd like to use a different word. I'd like to use a much more sophisticated word, but there's no word I can think of. Incompetent. How about incompetent? As a result, peace in Europe has been shattered by the largest European land war since the fall of Nazi Germany. This is the largest war there's been, and this war is going to escalate and escalate. When, if, but when. I have to always say if, because they cheat. I would say when if they didn't cheat, but they cheat. That's the one thing. They're great at cheating in elections. If we win, I'll get that thing settled before I take the office. I'll get it settled as president-elect. I'll get that war stopped. With Russia, we'll get that stopped. Ukraine and Russia, we're going to get it stopped and quickly. It'll be done before I get to office. It would not have happened if I was president. It wasn't going to happen in the Middle East. The Jewish people have suffered the worst atrocities and deadliest attacks since the Holocaust. There's no question about that. The United States has been forced to abandon more embassies under Comrade Kamala than at any time in our history. We're running out. It's not like we're leaving. We're being run out of these embassies that cost us hundreds of millions of dollars to build. You got to see these embassies in the middle of nowhere in a country you've never even heard of. They spent $900 million to build an embassy. The whole thing is crazy. The world is on fire, and Kamala and Biden have marched us to the brink of World War III. That's what we're in. I think, General, you would probably agree. You're one of the experts, I would think, right? I don't even talk to you about that lately. It's so out of control, I don't even have to bother. I just say, look, take a look. But one of the great experts, and we're on the brink. That's why this November, Americans are going to tell Kamala Harris, that we've had enough. We can't take it anymore. You're doing a terrible job. Comrade Harris, you're fired. Get out of here. You're fired. You're no good. You're fired. Get him out of here. All you have to do is take a look at San Francisco. Look at the job she did. She had one policy. If you steal less than $1,000, basically $950 to be exact, I want to be accurate for purposes of reporters. The fake news media, they want accuracy. They don't have to be accurate, but we have to be accurate. But if you steal less than $950, they basically leave you alone. So I have guys going in robbing stores with a calculator. Let's see, this is $100. Did you notice? This is not going to happen in North Carolina, I don't think, is it? No. Let's see, that's $100, that's $59. Bing, 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 bing. Stop. We don't want to go over $950. They walk out with it. Nobody does a thing. Starting the moment I lift my hand from the Bible after taking the oath of office, I will move to restore America to maximum strength and return the world to peace. We're going to return the world to peace. And mostly I can do it with a telephone call. We don't have to send troops. I can do it with a telephone call. You go to war with another country that's friendly to us or even not friendly to us. You're not going to do business in the United States, and we're going to charge you 100% tariffs. And all of a sudden, the president or prime minister or dictator or whoever the hell is running the country says to me, sir, we won't go to war. I talked this world out of a lot of wars with telephone calls. I don't have to send in the troops. One of my most urgent priorities will be to quickly rebuild the readiness and spirit of the United States Armed Forces. And we had it built. We rebuilt it. We rebuilt the whole military, but it was decimated under this group of stupid people. You know, we had so much. When I came in, we had no ammunition. Did you know that? Remember? I used to talk about it. And I said, if it's true, which it was, why would you say that? We had people on television. Well, the United States has no ammunition. You know, some things you just keep to yourself, right? Do you remember from North Carolina, do you remember I used to talk about that all the time? Those are my best witnesses, those ladies. There's about 40 of them. They're all over the place. And they're always perfectly coiffed and perfectly dressed. They're beautiful and they're great. But no, I used to talk all the time. If you have no bullets, I can ask this group of leaders, you don't talk about it. But you get the bullets really fast, right? So within a year, I had so much that our warehouses were stocked to the gills. We never had so much. I bought so much, missiles, everything. I rebuilt our military, but that's been all dissipated now again because we give it away to everybody. And for nothing. I mean, they don't do anything for us. We don't get anything. We don't even get a pledge that we'll pay you back someday if we have the money. How about that? Pay you back someday if we have the money. You know, I sponsor athletes sometimes. If I see somebody that I like in sports, I sponsor some golfers. Usually doesn't typically work out. I don't know if you know, it's like a 5,000 to 1 shot. But I'm good at that stuff and I can see talent. And I'll give them a few $1,000s. I'll give them $50,000. I'll say, you know, you're really good. You could make it. Why aren't you trying out for the tour? Sir, I have no money. I have to give lessons. I have no money. He said, you're too good to give lessons. You can be a tour player. I said, I don't have any money. I say, here's $50,000. And here's the deal. If you do well, you pay me back with no interest. Just good luck. If you don't do well, which you probably won't, because it's very hard, they say the worst is a boxer. If you sponsor a boxer, they're all great, they're winning all their fights, and then they turn professional, and they go in, and this goes with the UFC, run by Dana White, one of the greats of all time, which has really taken over for boxing. But it's the same thing, and people sponsor people, and they get what they get. But the worst is that what's wrong? Oh. A doctor, please. It is very hot here, I noticed. It's very hot. And a lot of the people waited for days to get here, so.
So while he's tending to the injured person, just announced RFK Jr. will be doing a press conference live in Arizona on Friday. As my comment below says, guess who's in Phoenix, Arizona on Friday for a rally? Donald J. Trump is having a rally on Friday in Phoenix, and just so happens RFK Jr. is going to be in Phoenix making his announcement. Could RFK Jr. show up on the stage? I'm not sure. We'll see very shortly on Friday. Make sure you tune in here. We're going to have the rally live. So it looks like somebody is sick on the stage, and he's actually coming out. Where's he going? Oh, no, dude. You're not protected. Look at that. He left the bulletproof glass. Left the bulletproof glass and going to go see how one of his fans are. Wow. What a man. What a man. Making sure that this person, whoever's sick or whoever got hurt, he decided he's going to leave the confines of the bulletproof glass, leaves his protection, and goes into the crowd. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. This man knows people want to take a shot at him, and he walks into the crowd. Are you kidding me? Secret Service must be like, oh my God, what are you doing, bro? We love Trump. Yeah. Strength. Forget the bulletproof glass if you're going to walk out there. All right, let him continue. I'll shut up now. RFK Jr. Friday at the rally in Phoenix. Count on it.
Thank you very much. You know, they come 2 days, 3 days early, and it's a lot of stress. We lose them. The only ones we don't lose are front row Joes. I don't know what they have going. They have something going here, Governor. Thank you very much. Thanks, Doctor. But America is blessed with the greatest military in the world, but our men and women in uniform have been betrayed by radical left politicians and some generals, and at the top, they're woke. They're woke. We don't want woke generals. We want generals that know how to win, and we have them. We proved that when we wiped out ISIS, didn't we? Proved it. Sure, it'll take 5 years. We did it in three weeks. I think we did it in 3 weeks. We have the greatest military in the world, but you need the great leaders. Otherwise, your military can never be great. Everywhere I go, soldiers and veterans tell me how angry they are that not one person has been held accountable for the Afghanistan catastrophe. He never fired anybody. You know, I fire a lot of people when they don't do a good job. Then they come back and write books. You know, they hate you, but that's okay. When you don't fire people, they never write books, you know. But I fired a lot of people. I wasn't happy with their service. I wasn't happy with the job they did. I fire them. I let them go. I mean, I'm working for you. I'm not doing this for myself. But when you fire them, they always come back with something. And now nobody's ever been in the position where, you know, they get offered all sorts of money from the fake news and everything else. And fame, we're going to make you famous. All you have to do is make up some stories about Trump. But people don't seem to care. It's phony stuff, phony, horrible. They're lightweights. They're terrible people. You know, when I came, don't forget, I didn't know anybody in Washington. I'm president of the United States. I'm going down Pennsylvania Avenue with the biggest load of military and police and motorcycles and everything you've ever seen. And I didn't know anybody. I said to my wife, I don't know a lot of people, but the people I know, I got recommendations from a lot of good people, well-meaning people. Some were good. Most were great. But we had some bad ones too. But now I know them all in Washington. I know the good ones, the weak ones, guys like this. I know the weak ones and the bad ones, General. We know the dumb ones and the smart ones, don't we? We know them all. But the voters will hold Kamala and Joe accountable for this November when I take office, and they're going to be held accountable for what they've done to this country. Right? Thank you. I will ask for the resignations of every single senior military official who touched the Afghanistan disaster. I want their resignations immediately. And I want them on the desk in the Oval Office, the Resolute desk. I want them on at 12 o'clock, Inauguration Day, everybody involved with that disaster. When you have a disaster so stupid as that caused us such problems, you don't know what that's done to the reputation of our country, the Afghanistan disaster. This house cleaning will be a signal to the entire world and America military and everybody else. They want people to be held accountable for failure and incompetence. And it's just not acceptable that something like that could happen. These are fighters. They fight with broken, old, obsolete weapons and knives. We have F-16s. We have F-35s, F-32s. And we were knocking the hell out of them, just knocking the hell out of them. It was easy. But I said, what the hell are we doing this for? Let's get the hell out of there. We were getting out with such strength. They were so happy they couldn't believe it. And then these people came in, and it's horrible to even think about what happened. And countries all over the world lost respect for us because of Afghanistan. We demand success and we demand victory. We want victory from our soldiers and from everybody else. Under Comrade Kamala Harris, and I call her that because there's never been, she's a Marxist, okay? I was saying, do you think she's a Marxist or a communist? To people that really study this stuff, they weren't able to tell me. They said it could be all the way, it could be communist, but she's damn close. They said it was definitely one or the other, but they couldn't actually tell me. Was it communist or Marxist? Sir, it's one or the other. We're not sure. We'll figure it out. But under Comrade Kamala, our military has been abused for radical social experiments. On day one, I will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our U.S. armed forces. We're taking it out. Our warriors should be focused on defeating America's enemies, not figuring out their genders. By that time, hopefully they know their genders. Marxist ideologies have no place in combat. Think of it, they go in and they decide, oh, they're going to change my gender. No, we want them to know their gender when they go in. You have no idea the disruption that has caused, and the fake news refuses to report it. You know, when I did a ban, I went to a lot of good generals. I said, I'm not going to tell you names. Just tell me, is it the right thing or the wrong thing? The wrong thing, sir. It's the wrong thing. And I had unanimous support. And then we did it. I didn't do it. Other people did it. They reversed me as soon as they got in, like almost the first day. I didn't do it. But they allowed things to happen to our military that just not right. If you want to have a sex change or a social justice seminar, then you can do it somewhere else, but you're not going to do it in the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, Space Force, or the United States Marines. Sorry. You're not going to do it there. The military brass that led these absurd and insulting initiatives will likewise be removed, and they will no longer be in command. They're going to be gone so fast. Kamala and Crooked Joe purged 8,000 service members from our military for refusing their COVID vaccine mandate. They refused to do it. We didn't want a mandate. The mandate, you just can't do that. I will rehire every patriot who was fired from the military with an apology and with back pay. They will get their back pay and an apology from our government. Hopefully they have great jobs right now and they're making a lot of money. But if they want to come back in, they get an apology and we sign them up and they get their back pay. Should have never happened. The mandate stuff should have never happened. Thanks to Comrade Kamala and Joe Biden, morale in our military is now so low that almost every single branch is suffering a major recruitment and retention crisis. You know that. Upon taking office, I will begin the largest peacetime recruitment drive in the history of the armed forces. We have to fill our armed forces with great people, but they don't have spirit now. There's no spirit. Used to bring, other soldiers would bring their friends in. Now that doesn't happen. Almost never happens. The sense of spirit, pride, and prestige will soon come roaring back and reach levels never seen before. We're going to make it so hot that I'm going to want to resign and join the military. I don't know what rank I would start at. I guess I started private. I don't know. What rank would I have to start at, General? I have to start pretty low. He said you'll start at the top. All right, then I'll stay here. That's very good. You'll start at the top. He knows what to say. America's military must always be unrivaled and unbeatable. I mean, I see reports coming out where they do studies, and they said under these circumstances, we'll lose a war to China. Number one, if it's true, why are we saying it? And number two, it shouldn't be true, should it? It shouldn't be true. Not going to happen. Why would they release a report like that for China to read? We're vulnerable here. She said they're idiots. That's a good word, too. Yeah. Who's the woman that said that? Stand, please. Who said that? That's very good. No, it's true. She says they're idiots. No, they released a report talking about all of the vulnerable areas. We need more this, we need more that. We're weak here, we're weak there. I don't know who does this report. Why would you release a report like that? So after years, that's like saying we have no ammunition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have no ammunition at the time. We're the United States of America. You know why? We gave it all up to Ukraine and various other places. We gave them everything. Empty our warehouses of all of our ammunition. Let's give it to people free of charge. Free of charge. Costs billions. Free of charge. Everything's always free of charge. So after years of horrific depletion with the comrade sending our missiles and airplanes, ammunition to other countries, I will make a historic investment in rebuilding the U.S. Armed Forces. I did that once before, but I have to do it again because they've depleted it, just like they've depleted the strategic oil reserves. You know, we have the strategic, in all due respect, it's not for filling up your car so that you have 4 cents a gallon less and that you vote for Crooked Joe. It's not meant for that. It's meant for war. It's meant for tragedy. It's meant for real stuff. It's at the lowest point today in its history. We almost have nothing left. And we had it at a level that was such a beautiful thing to see. We will increase funding, but at the same time, the days of blank checks for the weapon systems over the past are over. I tell you what we will build, though. We're going to build a great iron dome over our country so that we don't have to get hit. We give it to other countries. We help Israel and other countries. And Ronald Reagan wanted it many years ago, as you know, but we didn't really have the technology then. He was right, but we didn't have the right technology. Today we have unbelievable technology. And, you know, we have other countries that have it. This country should have it. And we're going to make it right here, and we're going to make it in other of our great places. But a lot of it's going to come right out of your state. It's time to create the arsenal of the 21st century. We need that. That means aggressively shifting funding to keep America on the cutting edge, investing heavily in drones and robotics and artificial intelligence and hypersonics. Do you know, hypersonics, these are missiles that go 7 times faster than a fast ordinary missile. 7 times faster. So fast that for the most part, you can't shut them down and you can't shoot them down. They're going at levels of speed that nobody thought was possible. Do you know, that was our technology that was stolen by Russia. And Russia has them, and I started them very quickly. But somebody gave Russia, years ago, before me, all of our plans and specs for hypersonic missiles, and they built them, and we didn't. He said Bill Clinton. It could be. It might have been, in all fairness, might have been a little after Bill Clinton. I used to like Bill Clinton. Can you believe it? It could have been Barack Hussein Obama, perhaps. We should ask him. Now, he was very nasty last night. I try and be nice to people, you know, but it's a little tough when they get personal. Please, again, remember, please, sir, don't get personal. Talk about policy. Let me ask you about that. We're going to do a free poll. Here are the 2 questions. Should I get personal? Should I not get personal? Ready? Should I get personal? Should I not get personal? I don't know. My advisors are fired. No, we'd rather keep it on policy, but sometimes it's hard when you're attacked from all ends. I mean, they want to put you in jail for nothing. For nothing. For cases that the legal scholars all over the country have said there is no case, and they want to put you in jail. And I could have done that to Hillary Clinton. I could have put her in jail. She turned away subpoenas, and she damaged stuff, and she wouldn't give things after a subpoena was sent, from the United States Congress. I said to myself, we want to bring the country together. Wouldn't it be terrible to put the wife of the President of the United States in jail? Wouldn't it be terrible? And then I come out, and they do it to me. And there's no feeling as, wouldn't it be terrible? But we won the big case in Florida. That was totally won. And Biden didn't. You know, Biden documents, I had the Presidential Records Act. I had a right to do whatever I wanted to do. That was passed in like 1978. But Biden didn't have a right to do it because he wasn't president. And he was there for 50 years. He took stuff. And the ruling was basically he's guilty as hell, but he's got no memory. He's a nice man with no memory. Actually, they're wrong. He's not a nice man and he has no memory. He's not a nice man at all because he started weaponization. And weaponization is a double prong. That can come back to haunt them too. It's a terrible thing for our country, I can tell you. A terrible thing for our country. We need a dramatic increase in research. We need a very dramatic increase in development. And in so doing, we will create countless American jobs, including jobs right here in a place called North Carolina. Do we love North Carolina? Laura Trump is from North Carolina. She named her daughter Carolina, the wife of Eric. I now say that he's the husband of Laura, which he's great. He's great, and it's a great couple, but she loves this place. She just loves it. She's here all the time. And, you know, she comes and we love her too. She's amazing. She's got a great talent, and she, along with Michael Watley, are running the Republican National Committee and doing a great job. You know, a lot of times when you do that, they'll say, oh, family. Let me say, this is not a job that this is a tough job. And our primary focus is not to get out the vote. It's to make sure they don't cheat. Because we have all the votes you need. You can see it. Every house along the way has signs. Trump, 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 Trump-Vance, Trump-Vance. And by the way, Vance is doing a great job. Vance is doing a great job. Look at that beautiful red Vance. No, but these signs are all over the place. I see it everywhere, no matter where. In Florida, they're all over. Because people want to see common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense. It's not conservative, liberal. They don't want to be called liberal anymore. They want to use progressive. We're progressive. Progressive. I think liberal is more appropriate. Progressive is such a beautiful word, right? You know, it's progressive. Progressive means go forward. They don't go forward, they go backward. As we rapidly rebuild American deterrence, we will quickly restore peace and stability in our country, but all over the world. We'll make our country a much safer place. We're in grave danger of a war, a third world war, I tell you. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, and as I said, we're going to do things that are going to be shocking to people. But what I'm going to do more than anything else, I'm going to get things in line, and we're going to prevent that World War III. And if you look at what's going on with Ukraine and Russia, if you look at now there's an incursion into Russia, then there'll be another incursion the other way, then there'll be, and then all of a sudden bad things will start to happen. They're already starting. By contrast, if Comrade Kamala wins this November, World War III is virtually guaranteed to happen. Everything she touches, she destroys. Everything that she's touched, you look at her life. She was district attorney in San Francisco. The place went to hell. It's the best city in the world, probably 15, 18 years ago, 20 years ago. Maybe in the whole world, it was one of the best cities in the world. Then she becomes the Attorney General of the state of California. That place went to hell. It was helped by Gavin Newsom. Newsom helped, but she was terrible. And it's crime-ridden, and you can't walk down the sidewalk anymore. It's just unbelievable what's happened to that state. So sad. Best weather, beautiful ocean, everything is good, but they've just let it go to hell. And she's going to do the same thing to the United States. And when she says, I'll let you frack. Her whole career, she said no frack, in Pennsylvania in particular. No, because they get tremendous wealth from fracking. They're going to be stopped. 100% they're going to be stopped. She just changed her view a few months ago. You got to see. You know, she ran against Biden. There were 22 people running. She was the first to leave. She quit because she went down like that. And she was the first one out. She never made it to the first state in the primary. She never made it to Iowa. Never made it to Iowa. She didn't get one vote. And she still hasn't gotten one vote. And she won't have one vote. Think of it. Biden, I'm not a fan of Biden. I think he was terrible. A terrible president. What he did to our country, you look at him with the planes and the stairs and the falling all over the place, and he had no idea what the hell was happening. He couldn't find his way off the stage. A stair here, stair there, stair. I got stairs all over the place. He'd finish his speech. He'd look around. Where am I? His speeches lasted. The nice part, it was good in the hot sun because they lasted for about 2 minutes and he could go home. But nobody would come anyway. But we can't let her. She's much worse than him, actually. because she's actually more radical. He never believed it. He just did it for votes. I don't know why you'd get votes by having open borders. You know, she wants open borders. If she became president in 4 years, you'd have 60 to 70 million people from all over the world. And it's not just South America. And remember, they're releasing them from their jails and their prisons. They're coming out of jails and prisons and mental institutions and insane asylums. Then we have hundreds and probably thousands of terrorists that have come into our country. We probably have a few here. Welcome, welcome. But we probably have a few here. And she's all for it. And now she's saying, and you see what she's saying, well, the wall was largely built. We were adding space onto the wall. We built hundreds of miles of wall. I actually took it because Congress gave us a hard time and the Democrats were brutal. We had 11 lawsuits and we won all 11, but I took it out of the military. I called it an invasion of our country. It was an invasion. And we built hundreds of miles of wall. And then I was going to do 200 extra. We ordered it. It was there. And we had that rotten, horrible election, that horrible election where we did much better than we did the first time. And bad things happened. And all of a sudden, I hear that they want to have open borders. And I thought they were kidding. Who the hell wants open borders? And then they said, we'll give you health care. You know, now they're saying all about how they're getting tough in the borders and how they were tough, except they have a couple of problems. Do you know that we flew in 1 million people, airplanes, over the top of the border, beautiful airplanes. They're flying them in. If you want to stop people, you're not flying them in on airplanes and many other things. No, they wanted open borders, and we have a country that's loaded up with many, many criminals right now, of the worst. They emptied their jails. They emptied their jails and prisons. They emptied their mental institutions into our country, largely. Now, they're continuing to do it. But if you look at many of these countries that we're talking about, frankly, who can blame them? They're dropping their prisoners into the United States of America. They're dropping all of these people into the United States, including their mental institution people. Any terrorists they have, they're dropping them into the United States. We're taking hundreds of thousands of people that were in jail for murder. You take a look at Venezuela, their jails are half. And I'm surprised half because, frankly, I would have worked faster than that. If I were running it, I would have had all of them out of there by now. They go to Caracas, they take all their gang members, all of their killers, their murderers, their drug dealers. They take them and they're putting them into the United States, and their crime is down 72%. In fact, next time what we'll do, instead of North Carolina, we'll have our next little gathering in Venezuela because it will be much safer than being in our country. If these people win, you're not going to have any meetings. You're not going to have anything. There'll be chaos in our country. And we just can't let it happen. We can't let it happen. We can't let it happen. Remember, when Biden sent Kamala to Europe to stop the war in Ukraine, she met with Putin. And then 3 days later, he attacked. How did she do? You think she did a good job? She met with Putin to tell him don't do it. And 3 days later, he attacked. That's when the attack started. Did you know that, General? Should have sent you. But over 500,000, they say, are dead or wounded, but it's a much higher number than that. And everything lies in ruin. Look, we are going to fight like hell to win this election. They are going to cheat like hell to win the election because they have no bounds. They have no bounds. I've said to some Republicans once in a place called Philadelphia, which I love. I went to school in Philadelphia, but it's suffering tremendously, like Chicago, like every Democrat-run city is suffering. But I said, why do we allow them to do it? Do Republicans do what they do with the stuffing the boxes, with all of the different things they do? Sir, we're proud Americans. And that's really the right thing to say. But they have no bounds. We have to win this election. If we don't win this election, we are in such trouble as a country. We're in trouble right now, but you have the right guy to straighten it out. I'll get it straightened out. I'll get it straightened out fast. We're going to have peace through strength all over the world like we had just a short while ago. And I just want to say, closing, it's an honor to have served for 4 years. I wish we didn't have this break. The only thing good about the break is it shows how bad it can get, because we've never had a country that's been in shape like this country is in right now. We have squalor in our streets. Our vets are disregarded, living on sidewalks in freezing cold and unbelievably hot cities all over the country. And yet we have people coming into our country that are living in luxury hotels. This is what we have. We're going to straighten out our country through common sense. We're going to straighten out our country with the United States of America. We're the greatest country in the world. We're not going to let this continue to go. We're going to straighten it out. We're going to make it bigger, better, stronger than ever before. We're going to bring in business. We're going to use tariffs to take advantage of our great strength and to, frankly, hurt countries that are hurting us and have been hurting us on trade for many, many years. Right now, China is building massive auto plants in Mexico, and they think that those plants are going to make cars and they're going to sell them across the line for no tax, no anything, destroy what's left in Detroit, which, frankly, compared to years ago, is very little, and South Carolina and many other places. We're not going to let it happen. We will charge them 150 or 200% tariff, and all of that investment that they made is now worthless. We're not going to let them do that. We're not going to let them destroy our automobile industry. The United Auto Workers has a grossly incompetent man at the head. They want to make all electric cars, and Elon Musk is a friend of mine. You saw he endorsed me very strongly, and he understands that I'm right. And I love electric cars, and they have an incredible purpose. They have an incredible purpose. They're unbelievable what they can do, and he makes a great product. But I told him, I said, you know, before you endorse, you have to understand, we have to have gasoline-propelled cars. Again, we have more liquid gold than anybody anywhere in the world, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia. We have more than anybody. We're going to quadruple that business. We're going to be much bigger than both of them put together. We're going to pay down debt. We're going to reduce your taxes. I gave you the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulatory cut in history. That created all of the jobs. And when Biden talks about jobs, by the way, because they lie so much, the jobs he created, almost all of them, almost 100%, people say more than 100%, went to illegal aliens. The other, remember this, the numbers sound good because they're called bounce-back jobs. We had a pandemic. People were laid off. And then as soon, and this is common for ages, when a pandemic goes, you have bounce-back. The businesses, and had we not done what we did with money, probably some of you benefited, but we would have been in a 1929-style depression. We did it just right. The problem is, they came in, they no longer needed money. We gave them a country that was fixed. And more people died during Biden, think of that, than died during us from COVID. Many more people died during them. But think of this, we gave them a country and they blew it because they took so much, they took trillions and trillions of money, they kept feeding it. And that's what caused, along with their bad energy policies, that's what caused this tremendous inflation, which is destroying the people of our country. And frankly, it's contagious. It's all over the world. But we're the ones that started it with their bad policy. So we're going to work very hard. We've got to win. We've got to win this state. This state is a very, very big state to win. We've won it twice, and we're going to win it again. I said to a couple of the people, I said, so let me ask you, how are we doing compared to 4 years ago and 8 years ago? They said, sir, you're much hotter, you're more popular. I hope that's true. But we won it twice. And all I can do is pledge to you that we're going to do a great job for North Carolina. We're going to do a great job for the United States of America. We put America first, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
It'd be better if I turned down my friggin' mic, but that's okay. But this was a lot different. This was a speech. This was a rally versus a speech. And I told a lot of you guys, watch the difference. when you're doing a speech, you're just hitting your bullet points. You're just talking. You're just, I got it, Steve, I got it. You're just speaking about what exactly it is that you want people to know. Steve, I got it. I got it, Steve, I got it. But in any event, this was different. So I hope, I know you saw the difference in energy. I know you saw the difference in mood, and he feeds off of a crowd. He feeds off of the audience, and the audience feeds off of him as well. And I think he loves those visual cues. Those visual cues mean so much to him in his delivery. And in addition, he probably realizes after seeing what happened last night, probably saw it, that they got nothing. At this point, their big guns, their big hitters have already taken their shots. It's over. Michelle, Barack, Dementia Joe, Hillary Clinton, I think Bill Clinton might be speaking tonight, but he's got nothing either. It's over. Their convention is over. Whatever shots they were going to take, whatever they were hoping to do, whatever bounce they were expecting, it's done. Now it's all on Kamala, whatever. It's all on her. And she can't carry it. She can't. And now, just so you guys, a couple times I posted up there, and hopefully you saw it as well. RFK Jr., while we've been here, and I didn't hit the mic because I've been checking all this stuff. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. Originally, it was said before we started the show this afternoon, that he was going to have a press conference in Los Angeles. Deal. So a lot of people are like, he wasn't getting many votes. He was only at about 5 to 9%. I'll check the latest polls and see what they've fabricated. But he was only getting 5 to 9% because he wasn't getting any publicity. The media wouldn't cover him. So he just built up enough of a following to get on some of the ballots. And at the same time, the media ignored him. The Democrats sued him into oblivion, wanted to cost him $100 million, so he couldn't run a whole bunch of ads. He's been using Twitter. Now that it appears, nothing is settled yet until it actually happens, but now it appears as though he is going to join Trump and join forces with him, which means at that point, once he now is joining forces with Trump, all of the assets that go along with him joining Trump are going to be available to him. Fundraising, the amount of money that he can put and say, okay, hey, RFK, get out there. Start telling everybody what you want to see happen with whatever agency we think we're going to put you at. Now he can just start looking at these. Elon Musk is out there. You can see him on Twitter all over the place talking about Kamala sucks. Basically, she's complete communist. Perfect. Now he needs to get out there. Vivek is out there. Tulsi Gabbard's out there. She can't beat this. And to me, it's kind of worrisome for one reason. My sound is back on, guys. It kind of worries me for one reason. It worries me because now they have reason to panic. Now they have a reason to be really afraid. And a scared dog chased into a corner, we don't know what they'll do. And at this point, I hope Trump and his advisors understand you got that sentencing happening on September 18th. What's Judge Merchan going to do? Are there crazies out there that want to take more shots at him? He wasn't behind bulletproof glass tonight. So that tells you that the Secret Service has said, we can't protect you. You cannot go on an open platform anymore. You're going to end up being out there like JFK in a convertible with nothing covering you. You got to be protected. Everybody knows that people want to take a shot at you. We got Iran that wants to take you out. We obviously have bad actors in our own government that probably want to take them out. This, and of course, then you get the Democrats spending 3-4 days doing nothing but inciting people that Orange Man bad. We can't possibly have this guy back in office. So put all that together, Democrats know they can't win. If you're on the fence at this point with everything I've been telling you about the black vote, about the Hispanic vote, and everything like that, and you still don't believe, now just go ahead and put him on the top. there's no way she was going to even come close to getting the kind of votes that Obama got. There's no way she could get the kind of votes that Dementia Joe got. Hopefully everyone's in place. We got poll watchers. Go ahead and volunteer wherever you are. Make sure that that crap doesn't happen again. So if you start putting this puzzle together, and you see the black vote, and you see the Hispanic vote, now we're seeing suburban women starting to creep up. If you're seeing the young people starting to creep up, and now on top of all that, the coalition of voters that RFK Jr. can bring, there's no friggin' way she can overcome that, not with her and that nutbag running around. You know, the horse milkshakes ain't gonna help him. The stolen valor ain't gonna help him. Just the emotional tie that people have to RFK Jr. and what's happened to his family. You know, that the media has downplayed that, but Trump just got a shot taken at him. You don't think RFK Jr. and his voters know the history of his family? Think about that for a little bit. He's gonna align with somebody who knows specifically what it's like for people to be taking shots at political candidates. His uncle and his father were both assassinated. And now he's aligning with a candidate who they tried to assassinate. They tried to put this under the rug. They don't want people talking about Trump's assassination. I almost think that putting up the bulletproof glass might be an excellent marketing ploy. Why is that, Barry? Well, he knows the media has stopped talking about his assassination attempt. He knows that the media doesn't want the American people to even remember what happened on July 13th. So what's a good way for them to have to talk about it again? Well, if you start carrying his outdoor rallies and he's in front of bulletproof glass, you're going to have to explain. Why is this man behind bulletproof glass? Oh, that's right. Somebody took a shot at him on July 13th. He is going to force the media to acknowledge it and talk about it. Perfect move. I don't know if he was thinking of the marketing angle, but if he was thinking about the marketing angle, this makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you can go ahead. I mean, I understand the Secret Service suggested it, but in his mind, he's like, they've been not talking about me getting shot at. Now they're gonna have to. Now people are gonna see this glass and go, why is this man behind glass? Boom, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Stop killing our Americans and hands off our president. Yeah, okay. Yep, we need all three be a vote all the way up and down. And there's some people who I know there's some people who are in the Trump movement who don't like Vivek. I know there's some people in the Trump movement who aren't going to like RFK Jr. But that's how you build a coalition. This guy is the head. He's going to be the boss. He's going to be the one who basically sets the plan. And when he sits down with Vivek and Tucker and I got Storm coming in and Tulsi and everybody else and says, this is where I'm headed. If you want to get on this train, you have to support this. And at that point, they can say, well, we support this. Will you support this? Yeah, okay, I'm good with that. Over the next 3-4 days, today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I wouldn't be surprised if you see another event pop up on Trump's calendar for Saturday. With this new momentum, I wouldn't be surprised if they do something on Saturday. Maybe do something with Elon. But at this point, what you're going to begin hearing is unity. Mark my words. You're going to start hearing that repeated over and over again, and it's a great counter to what the Democrats are doing. All the Democrats want to do is divide and call names and denigrate people, and these guys are going to start coming out with a message of unity. Hey, listen, RFK Jr., possible Democrat, maybe libertarian, independent, he's coming into Trump's camp. Elon Musk, former Democrat, doesn't like what's going on, he's coming into Trump's camp. That's called unity. That's called prosperity. That's called building a coalition that should end up as a landslide. The Democrats would say Trump is weak if he puts the glass in front. Well, he put the glass up in front today, and during the event, if you were here, he walked off the stage, came out from the bulletproof glass, and walked into the crowd to a woman who fell ill. I think it was a woman, could have been a man, but somebody in the crowd fell ill, and he just walked out there. He did a boss move. All the ballots should be counted by non-political military. Yeah, military, that'd be fine. I was 8 when RFK was shot. I remember it. I didn't even think about that. I did not even. 1968 is when he was shot. So you were 8 years old then. So we're only talking, what, 60 years? 56 years. 1968, yeah, 56 years. So there are a lot of people walking the planet who were alive when RFK was killed. There are some people who are still here when JFK was killed. Those memories are going to come back. And now you put that together with Trump, and this guy almost just got assassinated. I remember when being a little kid in my house, my parents had busts of JFK, and I was like, "Who's this guy JFK? Oh, he was the best president ever. He would have done so much for us." And well, what happened? Oh, they killed him. What do you mean they killed him? And it became folklore. You remember the picture of John saluting the casket? As a young man, I was like, damn, that's badass. That's a badass picture. Was it staged or but he was sitting there saluting his dad. There are a lot of people who have tied emotions to that moment. There are a lot of people who have tied emotion to RFK in 1968. And of course, there's a lot of us who have tied emotion to July 13th. And I'm not saying we're going to basically pull heartstrings to win this election. What I am saying, that there are a lot of people who are now going to think of life back then in 68, when all the stuff was happening in Chicago and he got killed. In 1963 with the Bay of Pigs and all the stuff that was happening then, and then Cuban Missile Crisis. All this is going to come back to people. I told you guys that I wanted to go down to Cafe Versailles and talk to some of the Cubans down there and say, hey, let some of these people know about communism. Well, I spoke to someone on the phone. I'm going to see if I can't set up an interview with them. But they're going to tell you, if I can get this guy on the phone, he's going to tell you what life was like in Cuba and how Kamala's proposals are basically the same that Castro wanted to put in there. Yeah, the Kennedys were like Camelot. Do you know that right, I would say, not too far from Mar-a-Lago, the Kennedy compound was right there. That's pretty interesting. America remembers. Yeah, I can just picture the spots right now, the commercials that can be run. I saw JFK, RFK, and Martin Luther King was shot. I watched it live on television when it happened. Wow. Yeah, I was in Miami during the Bay of Pigs. I will never forget July 13th when Trump was shot. That was also my daughter's birthday, who died. Oh my God. Sorry about that. God bless you. John and his wife died in that plane crash. Yep. I was 6. Somebody says I was 6 and home. It's amazing. I'm listening to and reading what you guys are writing here. My earliest memory is Kennedy being killed. Yes, we remember. They're not counting on this. My dad worked at the newspaper, and we have all the this is amazing, of the wire photos at the JFK event. Lots of baby boomers. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Reagan as well. With Reagan, attempt assassination on him. I'm just saying that there's a lot out there at this point. There's so much, and it's not just a heartstring in terms of, it's emotional. I almost think it's like, hey, yeah, I remember that in 1963. Oh yeah, I remember that twice in 1968 because Martin Luther King was killed as well. He was killed in April. RFK was killed in June. Ronald Reagan, who they stopped talking about, they tried to take a shot at him. So you start putting all this together and go, that's not the government I want to support. I don't want to support a government that wants to kill political adversaries. That's the point I think people are going to tie together. It's like, oh yeah, I remember they did this. And now it's happened again on July 13th. And you've got someone who basically lived through it. The emotion of his family. He doesn't talk about it a lot, but he did do an interview, and he, in all pretense, I hope I don't get the switch thrown on me, but he basically came out and said, yeah, it was the three-letter agency. They did it to me. So while I was, had my mute and I was talking and, looking at stuff that people had put, you guys are watching, and I'm sitting here and I had my microphone off, and I'm looking here, and people are talking about it everywhere. In fact, I think it's as of right now, it was the #1 trend on X when it came out. Let me just see something. How many people are talking about it? It's #1 trend, and it had 180,000 mentions that quick. It's going to be huge. The Democrats have absolutely no answer. They have tried to do everything possible to go after Trump. And they've tried a lot of stuff to go after RFK. But he's almost untouchable in terms of taking a shot at him. You don't dare. You don't dare. But he knows where the bodies are buried. He's learned where those bodies are buried. He understands where those bodies are buried, how those bodies got buried. And so one of the tweets that I saw was somebody said Trump should, if he wins, when he wins, should name RFK Jr. the head of the CIA. I'm like, oh my God. Can you imagine if RFK got access to the files, to everything that's there? Just think about that for a second. First day in office, and you're like, roll up the sleeves, fellas, bring in the files on both of them. I want to see what happened to my uncle, and I want to see what happened to my father. Even though I've heard from my relatives, I want to see what our government has. You're going to see a shitstorm of epic proportions. There was an article I saw, and I laughed at it, and it said that Kamala Harris raised $500 million last month. $500 million. And I'm like, no way. You saw what James O'Keefe did and how he exposed how they were using Act Blue and they were using dead people. I almost think we're going to find out that they've been moving money from that country over there that's fighting Putin and bringing some of that money. There's got to be a slush fund of epic proportions when you hear that they lost $2 trillion. They can't find $2 trillion in the defense budget. That money is sitting somewhere. That money is somebody has control of that slush fund, and they're pushing it towards Kamala right now. $500 million? What in the hell has she done to earn or deserve $500 million of donations? It's a crock. Dementia Joe didn't raise $500 million in 1 month. How many people are getting paid backdoor from Kamala Harris's campaign? This is ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. And it's going to stop. It's going to stop this Friday. I'm telling you right now, on August 21st, it's 3:43 p.m., it's over. We just got to get there. We got to get to November 5th, and then we've got to get to an inauguration. But for all pretenses in terms of leads and numbers and poll, screw them. It's done. It's over. Mathematically, it's just now dead. Her campaign is toast. Well, Barry, you don't know that for sure. The communism and all the stuff she's talking about, it's done. Now we just have to figure out a way to make sure the votes are counted correctly and that everyone's safe until January. Because I don't know what these people will pull at this point. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what these people might try at this point. If that's the plan, Trump will never make it to the election. I don't know. We have to make sure. I was 13 when JFK got shot. I knew it was a setup. Russia killed him. Yeah, Russia. I got you. 11 years old. No, Tucker Carlson. Let me just jump on this right now. Tucker Carlson will never be the press secretary. It's too small of a job. I mean, the press secretary is going to go to somebody, maybe he knows in the news. Maybe he might bring, somebody back again. But it won't be for Tucker Carlson's going to have a much higher position. If he wants to get in, he'll have a much higher position. The person who's really going to freak these people out, who right now is probably in his jail cell just going, just screaming, is Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon can't do much from prison. He gets out, I think, a couple days beforehand, and they would be terrified if somebody like him got involved as well. So they think they took him out, but maybe he may be getting out on good behavior really soon. We don't know. They still control his Secret Service detail. Yes, I understand that. Maybe look to the cartels is where she got $500 million. Good point. The sentencing scares me. Yeah, that could be a problem as well, but I think, like I said, I don't think Judge Merchan wants to touch that. Doesn't want to get near that. It'd be stupid. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. This was a much more energetic talk by Trump. He did a great job basically getting out there and letting people know what's going to happen. And then I'm positive on Friday, we are going to see this entire presidential race change in an instant. You're going to see polls change if they want to be honest. If not, they can't possibly show Kamala in the lead in Monday after the polls. Can't happen. I'm going to have a show at 7. I think maybe I might put some more stuff together about Trump's potential cabinet, maybe just talk about RFK Jr. But thank you guys for tuning in. I think it was a great rally. Good rally. Talk to you this evening at 7:30. That's what we'll make it 7:30.